Did you know there's a food sitting in your fridge right now that may be more powerful than eggs for recovering lost muscle mass? A food so common, it's probably been overlooked for years, yet it has just surprised geriatric nutrition experts with its extraordinary ability to fight sarcopenia. Hi, I'm Thomas Amador, and for the past 7 years I've dedicated myself to researching nutrition in older adults. What I'm about to share today could completely change the way you understand muscle loss after age 60. But first, let's talk about something that may be happening to you right now. If you're over 60, it's very likely that climbing stairs has become more difficult than it used to be. Maybe opening a jar has turned into a challenge, or you feel like your legs aren't as strong as they once were. This is not just normal aging, as many have claimed. It has a name, sarcopenia. And here's a fact that kept me up at night when I first discovered it. After age 60, we lose between 3 and 8% of our muscle mass each year, every single year. Think of it this way. If you weigh 70 kilos and have 35 kilos of muscle mass today, in 10 years, you could be down to just 25 kilos of muscle. That means less strength, less balance, a greater risk of falling, and something no one likes to talk about, the loss of independence. The World Health Organization reports that sarcopenia affects 30% of people over 60, and that number jumps to 50% after 80. So why can a common cheese outperform eggs in the race to recover muscle? The first point is the leucine trigger. To effectively trigger muscle protein synthesis, a meal needs to reach a certain leucine threshold, typically around 2 to 3 grams per meal. A single egg contains high-quality protein, but delivers only a modest amount of leucine per unit. This means many people don't reach that threshold in practice by eating just 1 or 2 eggs for breakfast. High-protein density cheeses like cottage cheese, well-drained dry ricotta, and harder-aged cheeses offer more protein and more leucine per volume, helping you reach that threshold easily and without heavy digestive effort. The second point is digestion speed and profile. Fresh cheeses, rich in casein, like cottage cheese, release amino acids more slowly and steadily, keeping protein synthesis elevated for longer throughout the morning and reducing early hunger. It's like trading short spikes for a steady push in favor of your muscles. The third point is practicality. A container of cottage or ricotta in the fridge allows for spoon-measured portions and quick combinations with fruits, tomatoes, light olive oil, and herbs, making it more likely for the habit to stick for months. And consistency is what turns temporary results into real strength recovery. The fourth point is the micronutrient package. Many cheeses concentrate calcium and phosphorus in ideal proportions for bone tissue, essential to support muscle in the job of protecting joints and preventing falls. Aged cheeses also contain small amounts of vitamin K in the form of menaquinone, which supports bone health, while their rich content of B-complex vitamins, such as B12, supports neuromuscular function and energy production. This helps explain why older adults who adjust their protein intake and add high-quality dairy show faster walking speed, stronger leg power, and improved ability to stand up from a chair within just a few weeks, especially when combined with simple exercises. How to put this into practice? For breakfast, combine a portion of around 200 to 300 grams of cottage cheese with vitamin C-rich fruits and a handful of nuts or almonds to add magnesium. This serving delivers close to 30 grams of high biological value protein and a strong dose of leucine, enough to trigger muscle anabolism early in the day. At the same time, keep eggs as an ally but reposition their role. Adding 2 eggs to your lunch, alongside the cheese at breakfast, helps distribute protein intake throughout the day. This strategy has proven to be more effective for gaining muscle mass and strength than concentrating all your protein in one meal. This stimulus tells your body it's worth investing amino acids in your muscles, and the cheese provides the exact raw material for that construction. Proper hydration throughout the day improves nutrient transport and contractile function. Consistent sleep helps consolidate the gains. For those looking for an extra boost, a low daily dose of creatine monohydrate taken with a high-protein cheese breakfast accelerates strength recovery and reduces fatigue during the first weeks. This combination has been observed by many clinicians to yield good results when properly monitored. When you turn this into a breakfast habit and add simple resistance exercises and a good night's sleep, sarcopenia stops being your destiny and becomes a chapter in reversal, and each morning becomes a new opportunity to feel strength return to your legs, stability in your steps, and real-life independence. In real numbers, we're talking about over 200 million people worldwide losing quality of life due to something that can be prevented and reversed. For decades, nutritionists recommended the egg as the perfect protein, and its biological value of 100 became the gold standard. But there's a common food that experts are now rediscovering, and it may change everything we thought we knew about muscle recovery in older adults. The early signs are usually subtle. It's not like you wake up one day suddenly weak. At first, it takes longer to get up from a low chair. Grocery bags feel heavier. A walk that used to be easy now requires rest breaks. Geriatric specialists warn that sarcopenia causes more deaths than people realize, because the indirect consequences, like falls, fractures, and loss of independence, are often treated as separate problems. First, they help you easily reach the leucine threshold per meal, the trigger that switches on muscle protein synthesis. Second, they release amino acids steadily, keeping the muscle-building process active for longer and reducing early hunger, important for those who struggle with irregular appetite. Third, they offer a package of calcium and phosphorus that strengthens bone. The structural base muscles need to function safely. In practice, the protocol starts at breakfast. A generous serving of well-drained cottage cheese or firm ricotta, somewhere between 200 and 300 grams depending on the individual, provides around 30 grams of high-quality protein and a strong dose of leucine, enough to trigger muscle anabolism early in the day. For those who prefer savory, combine it with tomato, a drizzle of olive oil, and some herbs. For those who prefer sweet, add fruits rich in vitamin C and a handful of nuts for added magnesium. Walk at a brisk pace on alternate days for 20 to 30 minutes. Stay well hydrated throughout the day to help amino acids reach muscle fibers, and prioritize quality sleep, which consolidates tissue repair. The promised trick to triple your results is to combine that protein-rich breakfast cheese with a low daily dose of creatine monohydrate, between 3 and 5 grams, mixed into your morning drink. Creatine boosts intramuscular energy, increases your ability to perform repeated contractions, and improves how efficiently the protein from your meal turns into functional muscle. It creates a lever effect when combined with the casein in cheese and resistance training. When made a part of your breakfast routine, it becomes a practical and affordable tool to reverse weakness, regain independence, and get back to living your days with energy and confidence. Studies from leading nutrition universities have shown that there's a type of protein that outperforms eggs in key areas for older adults: slower absorption, better digestive tolerance, higher density of essential amino acids, and most importantly, the ability to keep amino acid levels elevated in the bloodstream for 6 hours instead of just 2. Everything gained momentum when a leading research group compared protein sources in adults over 65 with sarcopenia over a 16-week period. The results stood out. Those who consumed casein-based protein found in certain cheeses gained more muscle mass on average and improved their functionality more significantly than those who relied on egg protein. Cottage cheese retains up to 85% of the original milk proteins in a concentrated and highly bioavailable form, and the secret that makes all the difference is that it contains mostly micellar casein, a specific type of protein that forms gel-like structures in the stomach, releasing amino acids slowly and steadily over 6 to 8 hours. This is the opposite of eggs, which cause a quick 2-hour amino acid spike that then drops. That's why cottage cheese works like a slow drip nutrient infusion, feeding the muscles as you sleep, work, and go about your day. As biochemist Carmen Lopez explained, eating eggs is like dumping all the water at once, while cottage cheese is like a drip irrigation system that delivers exactly what muscles need when they need it. But not all cottage cheese is created equal, and a poor choice can mean the difference between extraordinary and average results. So let's look at the numbers that matter. A 200-gram portion of high-quality cottage cheese delivers 28 grams of protein, while 2 large eggs provide just 12, totaling about 2,400 milligrams of leucine, the key trigger for muscle protein synthesis. The case of 72-year-old Roberto illustrates the potential. After a hip fracture and months of inactivity, he began an intensive protocol with 200 grams of cottage cheese, divided into 3 daily servings, combined with targeted physical therapy. In the first month, he gave up using a cane at home. By the second, he was climbing stairs unaided. In the third, he was walking 2 kilometers without fatigue, and by the 4th month, he was walking 5 kilometers daily and tending his garden. His wife reported that regaining strength and independence restored his zest for life. To maximize results, how you choose and consume cottage cheese matters. After analyzing more than 30 brands in different countries, the winning criteria were a minimum of 14 grams of protein per 100 grams on the label, since many diluted versions only offer 8 to 10 and require double the volume for the same effect. Sodium below 300 milligrams per 100 grams, especially important for those with high blood pressure, and a clean ingredient list without problematic thickeners and preservatives like excess guar gum, carrageenan, and sodium benzoate, which may irritate the sensitive digestive systems of older adults. In the morning, make cottage cheese your first meal within the first hour after waking to stop overnight catabolism and switch into muscle building mode. Additions can further enhance the plan: a spoonful of nuts for magnesium and healthy fats, fresh blueberries for antioxidants that modulate inflammation, and a pinch of cinnamon to support insulin sensitivity. It involves consuming 400 grams of cottage cheese per day during the first 4 weeks, and then reducing to the standard intensive protocol. Hydration is critical. For every 100 grams of cottage cheese, drink at least 300 milliliters of extra water because protein synthesis requires an optimal hydration state, and many older adults live chronically dehydrated without realizing it. To avoid monotony, I created 15 recipes designed for seniors that are not only tasty but also formulated to maximize protein absorption and add complementary nutrients. Recipe 1, morning protein smoothie with 150 grams of cottage cheese, 1 ripe banana, 1 cup of raw spinach, which doesn't affect the taste, 1 tablespoon of almond butter, 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk, and ice to taste. This combination provides about 32 grams of protein, along with potassium for muscle function and magnesium for relaxation. The spinach adds iron and folate without altering the flavor. Recipe 2, cottage ricotta for pasta with 200 grams of cottage cheese, 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan, 1 finely chopped garlic clove, fresh basil, and ground black pepper. Mix everything and use it as a sauce for whole wheat pasta, achieving a creamy texture typical of ricotta but with triple the protein. Recipe 3, protein salad with 150 grams of cottage cheese, halved cherry tomatoes, diced cucumber, black olives, extra virgin olive oil, and dried oregano. Ideal for lunch as it delivers complete protein with healthy fats and antioxidants. Recipe 4, light nighttime tiramisu with 100 grams of cottage cheese, 1 teaspoon of instant coffee, 1 teaspoon of honey, and cocoa powder for dusting. Mix the first 3, chill for 30 minutes, and top with cocoa. It satisfies sweet cravings and nourishes muscle overnight. Recipe 5, protein pancakes with 150 grams of cottage cheese, 2 eggs, 3 tablespoons of ground oats, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and cinnamon to taste. Blend everything and cook like traditional pancakes. Each serving delivers about 28 grams of protein and pairs well with berries. The key is batch preparation. Dedicate 1 hour on Sunday to portion meals for the whole week and eliminate the excuse of lack of time. To expand the menu and maintain variety, also include Recipe 6, quick savory, spread with 150 grams of cottage cheese, chopped tomato, parsley, and a drizzle of olive oil served over slow fermented toast. Recipe 7, Mediterranean bowl with cottage cheese, cooked chickpeas, cucumber, tomato, roasted bell pepper, and za'atar. Recipe 8, cottage cocoa cream for nighttime, blended with pure cocoa and a touch of cinnamon to help with glycemic control. Recipe 9, cottage dip with fine herbs and lemon to accompany carrot and cucumber sticks. Recipe 10, egg white omelet enriched with cottage cheese to boost casein content and prolong amino acid availability. Although cottage cheese is safe for most people, there are situations that require caution or even complete avoidance. Absolute contraindications include confirmed casein allergy, which is different from lactose intolerance, stage 4 chronic kidney disease with significantly reduced glomerular filtration, untreated hyperparathyroidism, and a history of recurring calcium kidney stones. Relative contraindications that require medical supervision include chronic kidney disease stages 1 to 3, uncontrolled hypertension with levels around 160 over 100 millimeters of mercury, poorly controlled type 2 diabetes, use of thiazide diuretics, and a history of gout or hyperuricemia. Regarding medication interactions, people who use warfarin, also known as coumarins, should be aware that the vitamin K content in dairy products can affect INR levels. The solution is not to prohibit, but rather to keep intake consistent and monitor more frequently. Angiotensin-converting enzyme inhibitors such as enalapril and lisinopril can enhance the effects of dietary potassium. If symptoms like muscle weakness, irregular heartbeat, or nausea appear, consult a doctor. Calcium supplements should be taken at least 2 hours apart from cottage cheese to avoid interference with absorption. To reduce any digestive discomfort, especially if you've been consuming little to no dairy, start with small portions. About 50 grams daily in the first week, increase to 100 grams in the second week, and gradually progress until you reach the target dose. Complement your servings with nuts in the morning for magnesium and beneficial fatty acids, blueberries for antioxidants that modulate inflammation, and a touch of cinnamon to support insulin sensitivity. At night, use raw honey to promote melatonin release, chia seeds for fiber and plant-based omega-3s, and turmeric if you want an additional anti-inflammatory layer. Maintain consistency and track home markers, like the time it takes to do 5 sit-to-stands from a standard chair, ease of climbing a flight of stairs without stopping, and the ability to open jars without pain. If you have any complex medical condition or are on multiple medications, align the protocol with your doctor. Also remember that maximum effect arises when the right food meets the right stimulus. 3 weekly strength sessions with controlled sit-to-stands, resistance band rows, wall incline push-ups, and calf raises, plus brisk walking on alternate days. When combined with regular sleep and proper hydration, they create the perfect environment for cottage cheese to deliver its full potential in reversing sarcopenia and restoring your autonomy.